games, and Maru, of course, in first place. Fantastic play. This is actually turning out to be a much better group than what I expected. And I thought it would be, like, okay, but I thought it would be, like, very stratified. Like, Maru crushes, Sue crushes, Ragnarok barely beats Maru, and there we have it. I mean, barely beats Tasia, and
that's the same thing that I thought as well. But Tasia, I mean, even just taking one game off Sue is kind of insane.
Yeah.
And he could definitely do it for 2. Now, I will say, in these spots on this map, I think Sue's going to be pretty happy about this. Cross spots, oh, yeah.
Yeah. I want to see what he goes for strategically here, Tasia, that is. Because we saw when Maru went for the very fast stim with 2 medevacs that Sue just kind of fell apart, so maybe something like that could be a good job for him.
Here we see the quick command center now coming down for Terran. And a Reaper is being manufactured. He'll send that Reaper out on the map. We'll see the same dance we always see. Maybe Tasia even kills 2 Lings. That would be pretty cool. And I think we're probably going to see. And I think we're probably just going to see.
That would be pretty cool.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
We would have to do at least 2 high fives for that.
Yeah.
Then the Hellions should come out unless he changes his play style.
By the way, it does in fact look like Tasia is going to go for the fast stim with 2 medevac drop. So that's most likely what this build is working into.
Our Zergs today have had pretty solid defense, actually.
Yeah, pretty much. They've definitely gotten a lot better. Maybe, I definitely would say not just maybe, but the patch definitely helping Zerg against these early harassments. Are just, shoring up that defense against the air, really, really helping. But on this map in particular, this was the one game tonight that really kind of sucked with Sue against Maru here, where Maru just kind of crushed him. The very first drop didn't do anything, and then he just kept going. It was like, oh, drones are dead, units are dead, you're dead.
Yeah. He's going to try to come in once more. Oh, he's actually going to go for the drones. Good pull there by Sue. He wanted to try to make sure the Reaper couldn't run all the way around, so he had the drones ready to block off behind the mineral patch.
Both speeds on the way. 4 Lings, nice little harassment there.
This guy went and hit in the bush down there. Under the tree.
Under the trees in StarCraft 1 actually would give you high ground advantage.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Which was, then you only have 70% to hit. It was actually different from high ground advantage here where you just can't see what's on high ground.
Yeah, in StarCraft 1, that was one of the only RNG things that was in the game, was if you're on the high ground versus somebody on the low ground, when they fire at you, you automatically see them. So you don't need to have vision up there, but you have a higher % chance of missing.
Yes.
Whereas if you're just fighting on normal terrain, you never miss.
Yes, exactly.
So,
and trees would give that to you, which was kind of this weird thing.
A lot of people did not know that.
Yeah.
A lot of people did not know that.
I did my homework, so I always, if I saw a tree on a map, I'm like, I will have a seat.
No, I remember I knew about that, and I saw 2 people arguing on Team Liquid a long time ago. Because people were like, I put it by the trees, and they're like, this isn't real life. It doesn't matter if it's by the tree. And I'm like, that guy doesn't know the trick.
Yeah.
Tosis has put his little tanks by the trees and his TVPs.
Yeah, always. Yeah. But yeah, that was one little RNG thing from StarCraft 1. That was, I did lose 1 tournament due to that.
Where somebody else was using the trees?
No, just to high ground missing.
Oh, right, yeah.
Normally you just have the math in your head and you know basically what would kill on the high ground and you just utilize that, but I did have one game where it went abnormal and I lost the tournament. But
whoa, Sue!
Okay,
that was not supposed to happen.
At least he sees what's coming, right?
Yes, very true, but I mean, you don't want to be losing that Overlord.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would like to use that to check on the Terran later on. All right, so he's going to be pushing out. Stim is going to be finishing as this drop is beginning.
And spores are on the way, so that's going to help out against this defense, but let's see how good Tasia is at this. I like the location that he's taken his third base. It's definitely going to be easier to defend than with the high ground above the other one. Keeps those medevacs back for the time being.
The medevacs, yep, very good that he's being cautious with these. You don't want to feed in too hard. All Tasia has to do is win one more game, and he's gone on. He's just gonna he's gonna have to win with the sheer will of his TVZ.
Yeah, that's it for him tonight.
Okay, he's gonna unload right over here onto the high ground.
Okay, only a few roaches here. Everything's gonna be pulled back as he brings up more units.
He actually guns down the Widowmine. Oh no, he doesn't. Excuse me. was actually covered up for a second. He actually gets the Widow Mine in there and gets one shot off.
Yeah, I think it actually missed the one after the drone that was in the...
I hate it when that happens.
Geyser. I love when the mine keeps resetting against my probes as they jump in the geyser. I'm like, ha, free time.
Okay. But
nice,
he's
nice redrop
He's
there.
diving on top of this, and there's actually not enough over here. So he can actually start to gun down these roaches. If he gets these roaches or these queens in enough individual fights, that'll be huge. He can do so much damage. Now that was sick.
Yeah,
that was like Maru Jr. He did a ring around the Rosie over the hatch there in the main.
Yeah. And look at this. He keeps redropping here. It's such a smart move. Like, a lot of times Zerg's like, okay, he left there. But with no vision, he can't know for sure. And Tasia's picked up a lot of extra damage with that move.
There's more drops on the way. Really keeping that pressure on there in the main. Terran now going to get some of these other upgrades. Su actually not that far behind. Oh, wow, look at that. He can't see.
All right, the Marine's going to stim and run in. He does have 2 other medevacs that were entering towards the 3rd base. I haven't seen what's happened with that.
Speaking of 3rd bases, he's actually taking his command center here right now. It looks like he wanted to put a changeling underneath that. We're going to unload these medevacs. Are there enough roaches down here? Looks like there are. He does decide to do it.
He's going to get that.
And he will get the medevac.
It's a very good kill right there. 10 supply gone forever. But Su's still sitting on just 3 bases. He's about to have 1-1, which is really nice.
Yeah, Su's been doing a very good job. Tasia, though, as well. It's still anybody's game. He's got the tanks out now. This may end up triggering the push. But this is cross spots. This is a very tough angle to push from.
He can at least harass a little bit here. Now, Su is switching it up like he did in game number 1 on Frozen Temple. He's going into that melee. He's getting the Spire and the Bailey Nest, so he definitely wants to switch up what his tech is. Doesn't want to stand Roach Ravager forever.
However, this is a window timing here where maybe Tasia can come out and try to do some good amount of damage. Ooh. He's dropping these tanks right over here. Some free shots here on the drones. Now the Queen's taking damage.
Yeah, the Queen's actually, this was a really good move by the Queen. Stutter stepping forward, making sure that he's putting damage on those medevacs to try to keep them back. Drop does go down in the main base. Plenty of units waiting there for him, though.
Thing is, I'm just not sure that Su's going to be broken, man. He's really on top of these drops.
He is, but, like, this 4th base is a little bit late, I do want to say. You know, Tasia's 3rd base is at a good time. Like, what's the late game plan for Su here? I think it is just switching this tech up, getting Corruptors, getting Speed Veins, and crushing anything that comes after him.
We have a lot more barracks coming down now. He's going to have to pick up these tanks to continue to back up. The Lings are right-clicked on top of the medevacs. That's so funny.
Yeah, I like that.
I guess they can never really conveniently drop like that. I don't think we've ever seen that before. But he has 2 Lings on each medevac.
Yeah, I don't think I think you're right.
That's really interesting.
It's a cute little move, though. If there's like no Marines around, you can't really do anything against it.
Considering what a hard time most Zergs have against that, Su seems to have just revealed a pretty cool little secret.
Yeah, it's neat. Definitely right about that, Tasis.
Okay, he's coming up now. We're going to have another pickup. No casualties just yet. And there's really nowhere to drop. But at the same time, Su can never give up these positions. He has to just control this throughout the game, or Terran is going to get a huge lead.
Well, he's doing a great job with the defense so far. Like, Tasia has done a very good job of harassing, I would say, but he hasn't found the damage that he wants.
Well, what he's doing right now is he's keeping the Zerg's attention on this medevac with the 1 Marine in it as it goes around, scanning into the main, and he's just looking for a position where he can actually come in here and clinch a push.
Tasia going into that 4th command center, keeping up with the macro here against Su. Has a lot of tank evacs in his army, very strong army overall. Both players pretty close in this supply. Tasia is about to be maxed up, but Su has a really, really strong economy right now.
Yeah, Su's getting about 16 Lings. He may turn a lot of these Lings into Banelings for the next big attack that's coming up. And it's going to be up to Su now. Where does he expand over here? 5th base? I guess you could take the lower left quadrant, the expansion that's closest to your other bases.
Yeah, that is where he's taking, you're right. That can be hard to keep, though, and in fact, it was already canceled like 2 seconds after he started it.
Yeah.
So I guess Tasia actually has something over there, but Su gonna start to attack in a little bit. Got to be careful, though. Liberation zones plus siege tanks will wreck this army.
I think he's... Okay, no, never mind. He's not. I thought he was actually going to go for it for a second there when I saw him pull out, and it looked like he was going to start building that arc.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, another little drop over here. The Lings are going to come up, probably force another pickup.
You know, I think once he has a good number of Corruptors once again, then he can try to attack into some of these things. Because, like, his army will get wiped, I think. Like, if he actually, like, fully attacks into an entrenched position. But he also has the opportunity to, like, basically trade and stuff Corruptors left over.
I think it's a waiting game right now for Tasia. I don't think he has to attack anywhere.
Yeah, definitely not right now. He's
let Sue sweat it out.
Yeah, he's got some very good upgrades that are on the way. But you know what? The Hive is about to finish. Hives are scary for Terran. They're scary for anyone, really.
Yeah, that's true. He's actually trying to fish out this army. You know, the speed is not quite there for the Zerg army. Terran can kind of abuse this. They can kind of kite for days.
Yeah, especially with no fungal growths. We've seen that Sue is not a huge fan of that right now. Instead, really relying on those Corruptors.
Uh-oh. All right, Zerg begins to back up. Corrosive Biles make him think otherwise. We have not had any pushing just yet here. Okay, he's starting to grab the tanks, so that should be the indicator of the beginning of the push.
Yeah, the 5th base and 6th base going to be taken out. He was a little bit late retaking his 5th. He definitely should have taken him a little bit before, but he's got map control right now, so it's a little bit harder for Tasia to stop that. But Tasia is going to bring it to him.
Wow, look at this. Liberation zones are set up. He's still got a little bit of area to cover before he can get close enough to actually do that damage, but I think he's actually gotten in there. He's set up the siege tanks now. Is there going to try to go around here?
No, I think he just has to cancel. Like, he does have another base that's being built right now, so he doesn't have to worry too much, but he's not going to be able to save. He is going in, though. He's actually committing fully here. I don't know if this is going to end up working, but he's got a lot of Ravagers here. More and more Lings rallying down as well, but Tasia will punch through.
Tasia now chasing this down, taking out the Corruptors. He scans, beginning to wipe out the creep tumors. He did take out, by the way, in the bottom left, that the 5th base over there, the 6th base actually. 5th base is in the top right. That's a very pushable area right now here for Tasia.
I got to tell you, I can't help but to smile when Tasia starts taking big fights like that and winning them, man, because, I mean, this guy has been a very important figure in StarCraft 2's history.
Oh, absolutely.
He is one of our biggest champions of all time, one of the most beloved Terran players, and he is not going out without a fight here tonight. Like, he is really bringing it to one of the best Zergs in the world right now.
Yeah. I think it's maybe 1 or 2 pushes away. He can win this as long as he controls really well.
Look, he's got a lot of ghosts on the way. He's about to have +3 attack on his bio. This is some great stuff, but we have Ultras coming out. Kindness plating on the way as well.
Good splitting. Did he overextend here? He might be able to leap on top of these Ravagers.
Tasia has to be careful. Oh, bad rally. Plus tells him where that base is.
Yeah.
You see exactly 3 Ultras walking down that way. I wonder what has 3 larvae. Oh, a new hatchery.
Well, Terran is actually taking the upper right now, so he can actually cover this area where he's making the command center and push at the top. Now, what does Zerg do? Does Zerg try to counterattack? I don't know.
Well, the thing is, like, this Terran defense is very much about being set up, right? It's got Liberators, it's got Siege Tanks, Ghosts with Snipe that have to be in position kind of behind some defense. But the Zerg army is super mobile, and this is why we always talk about things like, oh, it's, you know, right now it's Zerg in cross spawns from Terran. They're going to love that on Frost, because how does Tasia actually force a victory here? It's so hard to push across everything.
I think, yeah, Tasia can simply just play whack-a-mole with the expansions that Sue's going to have.
The killing move should be killing the 5th base over and over and over.
Exactly. It's like an exhaust play.
Yeah. Like, he can't actually get to the main base and kill him most likely. But here we go. A lot of snipes coming up right now.
Oh, my God, he's melting it.
So
oh, my God, I
here.
think Sue might actually lose this.
Yeah?
Sue knows he's in hot water.
Oh, my
I think this is right when Tasia needs to pounce as well.
Nerds, I know that you guys are all, everyone is like, okay, Maru's out. Well, we know what's going to happen in this group. Nope. Tasia is throwing it on his head. Let your friends know. This is crazy stuff that's going down right now. He is going towards his 5th.
And he's got Ghosts ready with Snipe here.
He needs this 5th. Oh, my God. The Ultra's just popping to these Ghosts.
And every time the Ultras start to get close, they just run back. They run back to the safety of the siege tank, allow the additional damage to be dished out onto Sue's army, and then they follow him suit.
Wow, still more snipes being hit, and he's trying to do something against all these Ghosts. This is way too many units, so Sue has to back up. He is absolutely losing his 5th base and all the drones at it.
Oh my God, he's getting the drones right now. I think if this attack doesn't do it, there's going to be nothing left here for Sue.
A lot of Crucifiles coming down. He's already lost his base, though. Bringing Lings up for the flank. I guess maybe he can clean this up, but oh, Cloak on the Ghost.
Beautiful play.
You just have to be joking me.
That was absolutely incredible.
Oh my God.
He was just not ready. Now Tasia can regroup, and Sue has to get his next space up and keep it for the rest of the game, or this game is over.
This is madness
100%.
right now.
1000% here, guys.
Tasia just scanned it. Okay, that base doesn't even have drones, I'm pretty sure.
Looks like he's going to be mining from this space down here as well. Right now, Tasia on the mini-map is looking a lot more like the Zerg.
Yeah, he's kind of everywhere right now. He's starting to push into the heart of things. I'm not sure if this is the best way. I'd really prefer for Tasia just play whack-a-mole like you were talking about before. Maybe he feels like he has the ability to kill him. He is up by 50 army supply. That's a pretty big deal. The Ultra's running in. The Snipe's going off. In fact, even the Corruptor's being picked off. GG!
Oh my God!
Oh my God, indeed.
I can't believe my eyes.
This is crazy. I have the sickest nerd chills right now.
I cannot believe that is, so far, I'd say the big upset of Code S.
What year is it? This is ridiculous.
Sue just lost to Tasia. Sue gets knocked out first in this group, Group D. What?
This is craziness. This is some year that's in the past right now.
This is crazy, man.
Just wild. Look, the way that Tasia played there, he might be able to beat Ragnarok. Now, Ragnarok's playing really well tonight, guys, so I wouldn't just like automatically say he's going to take it, but Tasia might go to the round of 16 here.
For sure.
He's playing really well.
That is so weird. Tasia is the guy that was supposed to go out.
So bizarre.
Oh, look at you. The dad jokes. This is truly a Code S with the Tosis. I mean, honestly, Tasia played very well.
Yeah.
Sue was doing a good job, but Tasia actually brought it in the late game. I think he needs to do the same kind of play here against Ragnarok. Don't do this 3 racks Reaper stuff. Go for a standard, style. Do the drops. Stay on top of the Zerg. Get your tech up. When they go Ultras, get your Ghosts. I love that cloak, by the way, at the very end. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, really, really well played by Tasia. This guy knows exactly what he's doing right now. So maybe he can take out Ragnarok, go to that round of 16, and just continually put off retirement for the rest of his life.
We are going to go to a short break. When we come back, our final match, it's going to be Tasia versus Ragnarok to get that last spot in today's GSL Code S. Stay tuned.
So where did I lose my conviction? Fight the nightmare that brings me down. Yeah, I feel like we all live in fiction.
맑고 깨끗하게 피어나라고 겨울을 이겨낸 봄꽃이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
짬뽕이네. 와, 맛있는 거. 근데 어디서 시킨 거요? 그거 시킨 거 아닌데. 어떻게 볶음 진짬뽕인데? 어떻게 볶음 진짬뽕. 볶음 뜬 짬뽕. 볶음 뜬 짬뽕. 와, 정말로 화끈하네. 볶음 진짬뽕 외에는 절대 현혹되지 마소.
거의 뭐 신개념 리액션 아닙니까? 변신! 아닌데, 야, 팔이 이렇게 고정되어 있잖아, 이거. 아하! 그래! 이게 어플 되는 게 스노우앱만 가능해요. 이거 히트 치겠다. 여기가 바로 나의 주제. 온다. 야!
오늘은 바베큐 장난 아니야. 항정살, 오겹살, 야, 어머 맨열. 진짜 맛있어요. 오겹살, 항정살, 쌈장 딱 해가지고 웬만하면 참으려고 했는데 메타그린이랑 같이 있으니까 먹어도 됩니다. 밥이다. 오늘의 주인공 하루치는 3점, 메타그린과 함께 다음 주에 부피 쫙 빠진 저희 모습도 기대해 주시고요. 안녕.
거의 게임 마스터. 무슨 게임을 하더라도 뭐 기본 이상.
네.
지금 그걸 연습할 때가 아닙니다. 그렇습니다. 이렇게 하는 거예요. 이겼나?
이겼나 이거?
추가 시간. 좋아. 자리야 킬. 나이스.
드디어. 소나님이랑 닮았다는 소리는 좀 듣는데
네네네.
LW팀 소개합니다. 저를 키우는 게 보통이 아니거든요. 파이팅! 나이스! 공 한번 쓰죠.
한 번 이겼어요.
나이스!
와! 이겼어. 야! 어디?
개인 방송에서도 할 의향이 있어요.
방패 정도는
아, 우리 범 선수에 다시 한번 박수 치면서.
저 박수를 한번.
이거 산장 미팅이냐? 이게 뭐라고 이렇게 긴장이 되죠? 느낌 왔어! 자, 들어가자. 지금이니! 마무리야!
오버워치
파이팅!
우리 올리브영에서 드디어 루이조를 변화시키기 위해 우리 아프리카와 함께 루이조 변화시키기 대장정이 들어갔어요. 이게 스타일 옴브 제품입니다. 피부 밝아지는 것 같은데? 와, 이런 게 올리브영 클래스구나. 러마띠. 와우! 영국 스타일. 네, 멋있네. 나가면 번호 따일 것 같은데? 여기서 마무리할게요. 우리 제품은 올리브영 제품이었습니다.
올리브영 플러스 유소나 예뻐져라 뷰티 방송. 홈쇼핑 아닙니다. 첫 뷰티 방송 시작하겠습니다. 달콤한 꽃에 겹겹이 둘러싸인 듯. 아 여러분, 이 모든 제품들은 올리브영에서 살 수 있습니다. 새로운 네일 아트로 사랑을 표현할게요. 감사합니다. 고맙습니다. 세상에.
미소가 생기다. 화사함이 생기다. 건강한 하루가 생기다. pH 8.0과 풍부한 미네랄로 핑크빛 생기가 생기다. 아이시스 8.0. 이제 모두 핑크하세요.
답답할 때 마셔봐요 트로피카나. 상큼상큼 과일 듬뿍 스파클링.
리얼 프루트를 스파클링으로.
과즙이 톡톡 쏜다. 트로피카나 스파클링.
스타일? 상쾌하면 되는 거야. 상쾌함의 높이가 다르다. Stylish Sparkling Water 롯데 트레비.
봄꽃책에서 듣다. 있는 그대로 맑고 깨끗하게 피어나라고 겨울을 이겨낸 봄꽃이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성 사이다.
We are back, and it's time for our final best of 3 in tonight's GSL Code S.
Yeah, and this is possibly again Tasia's last professional match ever.
That's
We don't
right.
know.
Ragnarok is in good shape. I think most people would say, before tonight started, that it would be clear Ragnarok would be an easy match and crush Tasia. But after seeing Tasia's performance tonight, we might have to reevaluate that idea.
He tried to cheese Ragnarok out quite heavily in the first series of the night, got wrecked, played complete macro against Sue, and won 2-1. Really great play out of Tasia.
Yeah.
I want to see the macro play. I want to see him just go
ditto.
straight
No,
up
that's
and
what I
fight
want.
Ragnarok toe-to-toe. If this is your last match, do the macro.
I think you could pull the rug out from under Ragnarok. Now, Ragnarok has also shown he's got a lot of presence on the map with Zerg. He can go toe-to-toe with players like Maru. So
he played just fantastically against Maru tonight. Maru did 2-0 him, but both the games were really good with Ragnarok making a lot of smart moves, good micro, good macro.
Maru may be the best Terran player on the planet Earth right now. So the fact that he can do that, I mean, Tasia looks great. Tasia looks similar to Maru, but not quite at that level. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to start this off on Frozen Temple.
Yes, indeed. All right. I am so stoked for this match, actually. I was not thinking tonight would be as good as it's been.
Yeah.
But it is really, it's been awesome.
I thought it was going to be a series of one-sided games here tonight. I could not be further from the case. So it looks like the players are now in the lobby. Let's go ahead and get this going. Tasia versus Ragnarok in our final best of 3 in tonight's GSL Code S. In the upper left in the blue, he is
Tasia.
in the bottom right in the red.
CJ Entis, Ragnarok.
Ragnarok and roll!
Okay. I hope that Tasia does that standard build. I don't want any Reaper stuff.
Yeah. Well, I want Reaper stuff at exactly 1, possibly a second Reaper if he's doing Hellion.
He's doing the 3x Reaper build.
Oh my god.
That's the build he does in this.
Well, he played macro against Sue here, but this is the same thing he did against Ragnarok on this map already, and Ragnarok stopped it. So, all right, well.
So
I don't know, man. Well,
I just feel like
he might just be like, I just misclicked or something. Like maybe a simple thing that he can fix to win, something like that. I don't know.
Well, imagine if he actually took Ragnarok out with this build, like just right off the start.
Yeah,
that happens sometimes when enough Reapers get in there if you don't control perfectly.
And then that's puts Ragnarok maybe back on his back foot and makes a good spot for you. We'll see. I mean, it didn't work last time. Ragnarok did a really great job defending. I love that shot every time.
Cool camera shot.
It's a great shot.
So, yeah, I mean...
They always do it from that angle, though. They should do it from the other angle. And then the cameramen can wave at each other when they do it.
I see you. I'm on TV. Well, Link Speed started up here. Tasia will have the upper hand for a little bit, and that's really where the Terran can abuse the Zerg. Mm-hmm. We have seen Tasia in the previous iteration of this build. He did go for command center and then do 2 base pushes.
Yeah, that's right. He followed up with the 2 base push, and it was like all right. Didn't end up working out, but I think that what really matters here is he needs to make the Reapers work for him.
Yeah.
Last game they just didn't do enough. It was way too much money put into him with too little reward.
We saw.
Oh my
God.
Ooh.
Now we saw just how well with Link surrounds you can take out this style of play. Link speed is almost finished here, so you really got to make sure that you're going in the right location with those Reapers, not overextending on creep, for instance, and also keeping back from the queens.
He has to be especially careful right now because speed is about to finish. It's really, really important that he is not caught off guard when that happens. Oh, a lot of mines going down there on the queen.
Yeah, a lot of mines connecting.
Yeah,
4 roaches coming up here. Link speed is going to be done, so the Lings are going to boost out.
Yeah, now this is where he has to be really careful. Look at the Lings. They're kind of going off to the side. They want to see if they can catch the Reapers. Good location for him to sit. Some roaches on the way. That's a lot of Reapers. Reapers definitely can beat that many Lings with good micro. In fact, with bad micro, I think they just slightly win. But
oh my God, that was the play he could not afford to have there. He's lost the map presence. I'm actually kind of surprised he tried to jump up there too. That's like where they jump up.
Yeah, if there was like all Lings there, he probably wouldn't really lose anything. But with the roaches sitting and waiting for him, that was...
Roaches are actually ideal to have up there to catch the Reapers because the range is short enough that a lot of times you can't make the call to try to jump up, or not jump up. You can't turn around in time because right as they begin to jump, that's when they start to get hit. Now, he's got some Ravagers here. He's gone back to making drones, so I think he's just going to take a third base down here, and we're going to see this game kind of just enter that macro phase.
Well, this game, Tasia has gone for triple command center, so that's definitely different than what we saw in the previous one. In the previous one, it went worse, the Reaper House, like he lost more of them and whatnot, but not like this one went very well. He, he forced a lot of lings. I'm sure he forced like a mist inject or two. He forced the roaches out, but the Reapers, you give these Reapers like Bjorn, and Bjorn might just kill Ragnarok straight up.
Yeah, well, I think Bjorn might have the best Reaper control in the business.
He's the best 3Rex Reaper player, I would say.
I think he might be the only good 3Rex Reaper player, by the way. Do we know of anybody else?
Do a really great 3Rex Reaper, if I recall correctly. There's one Terran where I was like, oh my god, this one's
mean in Pro League? I think you might be right.
I think so, yeah.
I didn't cast that, but I think I remember seeing that.
I can't quite remember, but I'm pretty sure it was alive.
Now, I was talking about this earlier, but previously Tasia actually went for one command center behind this and then tech. In this case, Tasia's gone for 2.
Yeah, that's going to give him much better economy. He's going to be able to play a regular macro game after this, pretty much. He does have those engineering bays finishing up right before the evolution chamber, so he can stay on top of those upgrades, which is really important. Not sure what he can really get done. Like, he does have a medevac that's about to pop out, and he's going to have stim, so he can try some harassment.
I think this is one of those moments where, once you have stim and medevacs, you might as well just go out on the map.
Yeah.
There's just no reason to not do it.
It's not like you're going to have mutas.
Yeah. And you can pick up, and if you see the any weakness in what the Zerg has in the map, you just go kill it, whether that's Overlords, Lings, maybe even the Zerg army itself, if you can control that right. And right now, their upgrades are pretty even as far as the rate at which they're going along here. So
just a tiny advantage for Tasia. It doesn't really matter that much. So.
Yeah.
I mean, the game is like pretty close so far, but Tasia's third base is up and mining pretty quickly. And we don't have a fourth yet here for Ragnarok. I love the creep spread up top, by the way. That's really good.
Few Lings hidden up here at the top, so you can try to counterattack and hit any SCVs that are going to be at that third base if Terran overextends. And here it is once again. Tasia just with the pickups.
Yeah, picking off as many creep tumors as he can. Very important thing to stay on top of.
And yeah, for the time being, Tasia just going to stay safe. Here's another example of this. Just take out that Overlord. That will trigger the Lings to come back in there, but already really good defense here by Tasia. The Reapers still...
Oh, yeah, I forgot those were even still alive. They've just been sitting there for a long time.
I guess you might send those in later on if Zerg starts to really press them.
They can be useful, too. Like, you can, if you time your mines out right, you can really screw up a battle that the Zerg is trying to take, Like, I've seen people bounce Banelings back and cool stuff like that. And, of course, you can just run them into a base or something like they're a medevac.
Nice shot there with the Overlord. Wow.
The Reapers poke down right there, too. I love seeing things like late-game Reapers. They just excite me.
Well, it's so rare you actually get to have that, It's very cool and neat to see that unit being used. I mean, the thing is, he never lost the use, so you might as well just go around the map. Now, on this map, I think probably the best thing you can do with them is to try to come around and have them take out would-be bases by assassinating the drone on the way there, and then having them get out in time. Because the Zerg's basically not going to catch up to those Reapers.
Yeah, for the most part.
Not in the group that's that big.
Especially on a map like this with how many places you can jump up and down in the middle.
Yeah.
Hive on the way, about halfway done. Continued upgrades, actually quicker than Tasia. He was a little bit slow on that armory. First real mistake of the game, I guess, as far as the build goes.
Then concussive shells are almost done. He's got enough tanks. He's going to try pushing. It'll be interesting to have this push happening with a lot of Reapers out here. He might be able to utilize their grenades in a really cool way.
The grenades, like, they really can displace a lot.
All right, here we go.
Those infestors make this so scary.
Nicely done. Takes out that takes out that one tank. And does he have to go back? He also has to get rid of everything that's the creep up there at the top center. Can't expand comfortably there otherwise.
By the way, the fourth base area that Tasia would take has been covered with creep thanks to those Overlord drops that he loves to use.
Well, this is pretty smart. It's going to be a real headache for Tasia. Tasia's doing a pretty good job of being present on the map and running around, trying to harass. He's going to have his hands tied a little bit with that creep up there.
Adrenal Glands on the way here for the Zerglings. Baneling Nest as well. Reaper's actually cleaning this up. Still finding some uses, I guess.
Then he's going to have these Marines take out the Overlord, and nicely done.
I really want to see these Reapers do something heroic, you know? You never see a maxed out Terran that still has Reapers. We're not there yet, but 163, we could see it.
Okay, doing a good job just continuing to clean up that creep. The Lings do come in, however. He's going to get this Queen to come in over here and start playing the creep. He's going to get over there in time before it's okay, denied. Oh, what?
Just barely. Oh, well.
All right, takes care of that.
Well, all the Reapers died, Tasis, before we maxed out. I'm sad, but...
Yeah, I was actually hoping to see them get utilized in that push. I think he could have actually pushed back in there earlier on. But he didn't have the tank set up in the right spot, and that fungal nagged one of those tanks.
Yeah, I think he wasn't ready for the fungal straight up.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen a little bit of fungal tonight, but not so much, and just caught him off guard maybe.
Ooh. Okay, good job. The pickups are very nice. Takes out the... oh, that's kind of funny.
One of them.
He doesn't quite get that medevac that was actually full. That would have been pretty huge. But you know what? He took out enough. We've talked about this before, guys, but it's important to remember that if you can get the fungals and the corrosive vials off, there really is no better exchange in the entire game.
Yeah. There's really nothing
that compares to it, except for the player that puts his army on hold position, turns off his monitors, and you send Broodlords at him. That's about it.
It's basically more efficient than even a fungal and a Psy Storm.
It's kind of crazy.
Because the Psy Storm costs energy, and it doesn't cost any for the corrosive vial.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
But it's pretty awesome. It can become super efficient over time and whatnot, but it is quite hard to pull off, I would say. Yeah, that group of roaches, I'm not sure what was up.
Yeah. Terran is trying to expand to the top center. Looks like he actually wants to possibly free up some supply here with those other roaches. Down to 170, or no, 187 now.
All right, Ghosts with Cloak are going to be out here very, very soon. 2-2 is going to finish. He does have his 4th base up and mining. How many siege tanks does he actually have left, and how many liberators? Because we haven't really seen his main army. We've mostly seen just stuff running around. I know he had like 3 or so.
He doesn't want as many liberators if he sees that there are this many Ravagers out.
That's a good point.
Liberators are actually not a very good investment. Like, medevacs probably are a little bit better.
I'm just worried. If he doesn't have a no man's land that's really hard to break through, it feels like the Ghosts, it gets really hard to hit the snipes, right? Like, you have to have something that the Zerg has to deal with so that the Ghost can get the snipes off. So that's just the one thing I'm a little bit worried about for him here. Does have a planetary here.
Yeah, so this will obviously be completely fine, this base over here. And right now, I got to say, Taja's looking pretty unbreakable, but at the same time, so is Ragnarok. Like, I'm not sure who can even attack the other.
Looks like Liberator's starting to be produced a little bit, at least. Not sure how well they're going to do with how many Corruptors are being made, though. Baneling drop coming up towards that 4th. Both these guys are going to have a hard time. Okay, he has 4 tanks. But he has like 4 tanks and like 1 Liberator, I think. Is that enough of like a buffer for the Ghosts? Because he has a lot of Ghosts. Enough so that he can actually get, you know, keep everything back that can actually hit the Ghosts so they can actually snipe without getting interrupted during that channel.
He's going to try to break. Oh, nice job with the Baneling bombs over here. He's going to take out the majority of those SCVs. 8 kills. Now he's pushing down here in the bottom left, and he might even be able to push it in the bottom center. If he can keep this up, there's really not a whole lot that Zerg can do, as Zerg's going to have to expand either the bottom left or the upper right. These are pushable areas here for Terran.
You see those 2 Ghosts that were sitting there cloaked?
Yeah.
Like, he was just ready for anything that came to snipe it. Like, let's say that the Overseers lead in. If he snipes those and there's no more detection, all the rest of the Ghosts are just going to wreck everything.
It's super smart.
Really cool stuff. And he can catch all sorts of units, too. What if the Infestors walk up first? Like, okay, that's great. Cool moves with these Ghosts. I'm loving the Ghost play from Tasia.
We're actually seeing Burrow get upgraded right now.
Oh, cool, yeah. Probably for those Infestors, I would say.
That is a lot of Banelings.
Mm-hmm.
Tasia's going to have very good kiting if he's going to be okay here. Guys, this may be Tasia's last competitive match that we ever see.
Yeah.
Currently not on a team here. If he wins, he goes on to the round of 16. He's already taken out Sue. If he loses, there may not be much incentive for him to keep playing.
No, I would say not. He's already kind of announced that this is what he wants to do. Okay, well, here come these burrowed Infestors. He has no idea about this right now. This is... Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
God.
Oh, and that is just huge. Those ghosts, though, he does cloak. He does try to run out of here. That was a huge fungal, though. And see, this is what I was worried about. Without that entrenched position, the ghosts are able to do nothing. They're just running out of here. Actually, picks up some of them into medevacs, but I mean, ghosts alone, you need to have like a really kind of crazy setup in front of them so that things like this can't occur. But wow, good moves by Ragnarok.
That actually might be the game.
Might be.
He's doing so much damage right now. There's so many lings over here. They're going to be able to surround these ghosts. He picks up the ghost again. How often do you actually see ghosts picked up in medevacs?
No,
think about that.
Not so often, but maybe
rare.
we'll see it more after tonight.
And yeah, he's just taking out a large amount of SCVs, 70 drones to 49 SCVs.
He did, but the bank of Ragnarok is not any good. He just doesn't really have it. Remember, he lost that 5th base when Tasia was attacking down the left-hand side of the map. He's retaken it, but he can't just remax right now. So Tasia's army is kind of on par for the moment.
Okay, the top center base is going to be the key point of focus here. That and this new expansion that's being taken over here. You know, because this map is cross spots, it's easy to get your first 3 bases up and running, and it's not that difficult to try to at least snag a 4th base. But as the game goes on, these other main bases, your main sources of income, they dry up.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's not about your entire base being wiped out. It's about you lose that 4th or 5th base a couple times in a row, and that's it. You can't have the resources to expand there, and yet they can keep their base.
Both these guys having kind of a hard time. Ooh, this is such a good move. Well, I guess it's not actually. Never mind. I love seeing that ability getting used more often, but yeah, I guess with that many ghosts out, you got to be really careful with what you do with it.
Note that he has 2 lings on the above ground to block the command center, but then he has another 1 ling burrowed underground.
Oh, that's so smart.
So it's smart. So if he kills that, then you know, with Marines, he sends his Marines down there. Then he tries to land it again. Uh-oh, now you got a scan here. It's just one of these ways you can really slow your opponent down if they're getting too taxed with multitasking. Multitasking.
All right, we do have Ragnarok moving around the bottom of the map.
And let's see if he can actually bust him up here. Zerg is setting up for a good position. Here it is. Is he going to pick up in time? Is he watching? The Corruptors are now hitting the medevacs. The medevacs are not able to get away as quickly. So many Banelings spilling up north.
Right.
Actually going to connect with these ghosts. No! A great cloak. But the Overseers are coming in right now from above.
He's splitting his ghosts right now against Banelings. Not something you see every day.
I've seen it all now, Artosis. GG. Ragnarok takes game 1.
Okay, that was a good game, though. Tasia had some strong plays in there for sure. You know, it became a little bit hard there towards the end. He made a lot of ghosts. He didn't really have a big setup in front of them. And that one attack where Ragnarok rolled in and killed a bunch and he had to pick them up, I think that's where Ragnarok really got the lead.
All right. Dust Towers is going to be the map for game number 2. Tasia, I don't want to see that 3-rack Reaper anymore, Tasia.
No, I don't either.
I don't want to see it.
I want to see him play macro.
Yeah,
he played such great macro games before. And the thing is, he went into macro, but the Reapers did nothing. They did nothing. It's like a pretty good map for him, and he still couldn't really, yeah, they do some things, guys, but I don't think that they have paid for themselves in either of the games they did them.
Every other unit you get in the game develops a different type of utility later on, except for the Reaper. The Reaper rapidly becomes obsolete compared to anything else you can get on the map.
More so than the Cyclone.
Yeah.
There's so than
nothing that becomes
I can't think of anything
more obsolete than a Reaper does after about 5 minutes of in-game time.
Yeah, that's about right.
It's useless. You have less Marines. You started your medevac tech and your tank tech later. I don't like it. If Taja's going to win, he's going to have to do that traditional Terran style.
Let's see it. Map Dusk Towers, definitely one you can macro on heavily. Come on, Tasia.
Guys, we're happy to be back from LA after the StarCraft Summit. This is Tasia versus Ragnarok, the Tastosis Jet Lag Edition. In the upper left in the blue, he is
Tasia.
In the bottom right, in the red, he is
CJ Entis, Ragnarok.
Ooh. Well,
so this is that super turtley map. Also, guys, don't forget Ragnarok. A little bit of Nidus play here and there.
Yeah, and he shields it from you scouting it by taking this hatchery out front, and that's also a little bit better against Hellion Banshee. So just something to throw out there.
Now, Tasia, fingers crossed here, guys, does go for the very best mid-game and late-game proper TVZ that he knows. I would be sad to see him go out in any other way, because even if he loses there, I'm like, okay, well, you know what? We know where you're at. You're a good player. Thank you for being here. We hope you come back to GSL. If you don't, we understand.
Yeah.
You know, you got to do what you got to do to win, but I just don't see. In fact, when has Tasia ever really been cheesing?
I mean, he's always mixed in a little bit, but yeah, he's a macro player.
It's about the bare minimum of cheese, though. You can actually have.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. He's not like someone that never cheeses, but it is that kind of bare minimum. Like he really won all his titles out of just like great stamina and kind of out macroing and out microing everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
But it does look so far like it's going to be a macro build. And he's actually teching up very, very quickly. This could be a Hellion Banshee play.
Well, this is what I would like to see from him, ideally.
Yeah, that would be a very good choice.
Now, then again, I mean, Nidus play, and I would never talk about Nidus play so much except that it's Ragnarok, and I think he, like, literally has the record in Korea for Nidus plays.
Yeah.
Right?
I think you're right about that.
I think he has well over double what anybody else has done.
The only other
player
that actually, this is funny. The other player that uses more Niduses than a lot of players in I think. Like, I'd have to look at the stats, but Biel uses quite a bit. He's on CJ as well.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, you're
a lot of times you see teammates kind of do some similar things for sure. Like you watch Cure in basically every matchup, and there's little hints of Maru in there.
Well, that's what's so cool about these different metas you have when you have these teams that come together. Like everybody, let's say in the SK Telecom house, kind of use the matchup through the same prism because they're talking about it together. They're training together. So clearly you can see in the little mini meta over at the CJ house, they put a lot of value on the Nidus. A lot of other players, maybe in the other houses, probably don't even practice that strat.
It's quite
true. Why don't we just get in the late game?
Yeah, like
and play proper.
You look at, for instance, the 3 Protosses on KT. Trust, Zest, and Stats. They all do Zest style for the most part in Protoss vs. Terran and a lot of gateway stuff. But then you jump to some other teams like Classic is just as good as like Stats, let's say. He's right around that level. Maybe just slightly worse or slightly better at any given time. But he won't do nearly as much of that. He'll go more Colossus play and whatnot lately. So, you know, different teams definitely have, like, it's a really cool thing. One of my favorite things about StarCraft is you're actually expressing yourself while you play it. It's art in this way.
It really can show you the kind of character the person has, how much a risk taker they are, how much of a, you know, orthodox personality they might have. So, yeah, I totally agree, Artosis. I mean, you really kind of have a pretty unique fingerprint in StarCraft, too.
And teams oftentimes have a very unique fingerprint as well. You'll definitely see nights in Pro League where 3 Terrans on a team play and they'll do something
kind of
similar.
The same stuff, yeah.
Okay, so there are some roaches out, which are going to be able to push this all back. He should be able to take his 4th relatively soon here, but Tasia almost done his 3rd command center. Bringing up a Banshee.
Here comes that Banshee now.
Oh, I don't mind. That's cute. Oh, I like that, actually. He's going to... Where's he going to put that? Okay. Maybe lure the Queens out into it?
Okay, so the Banshee should try to loop around to the far left side over here of the second base.
Spore going up in that back natural. Banshee flying around, seeing what it can get done. Upgrades already started here for Tasia. Oh, a Nidus.
Yeah, called it.
Wow.
Well, one thing to note is that a lot of Terrans will stay outside of your base while they're doing this. And therefore, you can just come in there and just... Oh, my God. He lost the Overlord that would spot for the Nidus.
he did. He does have Overlord
it's
speed,
fine.
so it's not like a death sentence, but not what he was looking for.
No, certainly not.
In fact, even losing that could be a good move because you're not even thinking about Nidus at that point, right?
Probably not.
Just a little something to throw out there.
Oh!
It's like if you kill a Prism, you don't expect DTs to be dropped in your base a couple seconds later.
There it is. Can he see it? He should be able to see that, right?
He sees it.
He can see that.
It's about to have a Siege
he
Tank pop out
knows.
just in time, too.
SCVs are coming.
Oh, boy.
He might be able to block up the surface area here.
Yeah, we're going to see if he has enough transfuses. No.
Oh, my God. Could not die any faster there.
Insta-sniped.
Now going for this Overlord. So there's not going to be any options for Nidus later on.
Yeah. This Nidus play was just a gigantic waste of money, and now he has all these queens and roaches.
You know, now that I'm looking at this, I'm really surprised he actually did the Nidus play, considering he already did this once today on this map.
Yeah, he did this on this
Right?
map, and it, like, I guess it actually did end up working, but... And then you look at, like, game one, and I guess they just had very specific plans against each other, and they just continue to do those plans.
Right.
Look at how many creep tumors, because he was going for that all-in. Oh, man. All right, his evolution chamber is going to be quite a bit later than what he wants him at. 1-1 already is done for Terran, right?
So this is a pretty good spot right here for Zerg. Do you think he's going to use that Nidus for anything else later on?
Well, I mean, he could use it later on, but I'm not sure exactly what for. Like, maybe for, like, some big move if it gets really late game, but I think right now he just has to completely ignore it and just try to hold on. Get his creep spread out as far as he possibly can, take a 4th base, and hold on to the 4th base.
Terran is out, moving around on the map, continuing to get a good amount of upgrades. And, yeah, just pumping tanks, getting the concussive shells. Zerg is just trying to deflect all these drops.
Yeah, he's not even taking a 4th base, instead just teching up a bit into that infestation pit. But with no 4th hatchery, what is... I'm just like wondering what the goal is.
Maybe he's going to double expand or something, because this is a little bit weird, right?
A couple infestors?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
like just make
it's
double
strange.
hatch.
He had to have a 4th base up like yesterday, so
yeah,
this is kind of weird. All right, so he's finally taking this one at the center left.
And he'll be able to hold it for the time being against a small group of Marines.
Tage's really not super on the ball there.
Yeah, he was definitely doing something else. Infestors on the way. Very late with that 4th base. Hive is coming up as well. Okay. Definitely liking Taja's position. Very strong macro is underway. A lot of add-ons are about to finish, which is going to let him really get his units rolling out.
Looks like that push might be coming out very quickly here. Now, to be frank, I don't think Terran should push. Now that Zerg's is still on 3 bases, there's no real threat to you. You know?
Totally. Like he's not going to be able to kill you.
Big ass army too. But you know, if he gets in here and could deny this 4th base again, I think that might be the end of the story there for Tasia.
And well, Taja's coming down right now, and you know, will he be able to actually cancel this 4th? There's 3 infestors out.
Yeah. Well, I guess it'll depend on if he actually gets the fungals off here. He scans. Will he try to stem forward and come get these infestors?
Yeah.
He does.
Okay, a small amount of units do get fungled right there. That's a really great fungal, but he doesn't actually... Oh, there you go. He actually did have some corrosive vials go down. Very well done. In fact, a pretty decent spread here from Ragnarok. Killing off a bunch of units on the right-hand side. But he loses that 4th base, and, well, that's that doesn't bode well for him.
Man, oh man. I think we're probably going to go into game number 3 here. He's taking out that base. He's regrouping. He may back up and take a 4th base of his own and just continue to scan and survey his opponent and see where his opponent's expanding himself.
Well, at this point, since he killed that 4th base and, like, I mean, wait, did he already got +2 attack, right? So that's actually really good. But I feel like Tayshia's in just such a good spot. He just continues to macro and doesn't do anything boneheaded. You know, he doesn't, like, overcommit heavily and get fungled to death.
Oh my God.
It seems like he's just going to be able to take it.
No transfuses there in the moment they needed it most. I feel like Ragnarok's kind of falling apart here. Now, keep in mind, Ragnarok still has a pretty formidable army when you face off against it head-to-head.
Tasia continuing to try to push. Ultralisk Cavern is on the way. Tasia's fourth is being made. Has Liberators coming as well. Ooh, catches an Infestor. Kills the fourth base.
Yeah, no
Straight
cancel. Looks like he was trying to go for maybe catching the medevac because it went away with a fungal, but it was in a good spot, able to back out. Scans here from Tasia as he's saying, all right, do you have another base? Seeing that he does not, only tells Tasia all he has to do is sit back and relax. This is actually the Zerg's problem at this point in time. Zerg has to do something to activate a comeback, and I don't know if he's going to find that activation.
Well, you know, the Ultras, if he gets these Ultras out and he can actually, like, keep them alive until Chitinous, maybe he has a chance, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Okay, good Fungals right there, good Corrosive Biles, but that's not cost-efficient enough. He only has the one Infestor left over.
Yeah, they were good Corrosive Biles, but they were not quite good enough. He didn't quite catch enough in there.
I think they couldn't have been good enough. I think he just doesn't have enough supply here. He doesn't have a big enough army, a good enough army against what he's fighting.
Okay, he's itching to come back in again. Right now, supply is 180, actually, I should just say 190 to 175 here. I don't know if Tasia is going to lose this. He is just so close to winning this game.
He's continuing to push in forward here, bringing up some of his Siege Tanks as well. Cancels that fourth base for like the 5th time or so.
Now he goes back.
Chitinous Plating's about to finish. He's about to have 5 Ultras, I want to say. Still has a decent amount of Ravagers. Has that +2 Carapace plus the Chitinous, so that's like pretty good.
Another scan here.
He has to wipe this army, and I don't think he's going to wipe it. There's too many Siege Tanks here.
Yeah, that's
like this
my
is
concern.
just not going to be cost efficient enough for him, I don't think.
All right, here we go. He's coming down now. You can see the Terran army beginning to kite. A little bit of miscontrol there.
Wow, the Ultra's actually doing a really great job cutting through absolutely everything. A huge amount of army actually left over here for Ragnarok. Tasia microing back, picking off some of these Ultras. He's going to have to pick up pretty soon, though. We're in this dead-end area. Oh, I like that. Starts hitting the rocks, and Ragnarok turns around.
He's still continuing to pump out these tanks there, but he's got to be careful right now. It's actually pretty scary for Tasia. Tasia was nearly maxed out. I thought he had a good position. He did miscontrol a little bit in that last battle.
He did. But he's got his 4th base up. He's got a 5th command center made.
It's true.
His macro is on point right now. He's spending his money. He's keeping his supply high. He's got to be careful, though. You can't be overcommitting against an Ultra Space Army, especially on creep. That's how he loses this game, if he loses.
Well, I don't think Tasia can attack for a little while now. I think he has to stay back. And this does give Zerg that opening. Zerg's going to double expand here. And that could balance out this game.
Look at the units that Tasia's focusing on. Siege Tanks, Liberators, and he just made the Ghost Academy. So he knows. He realizes that he needs to get up into the higher tech units. If you try to fight against Ultras, you're trying to kill off a Zerg that has a bunch of Ultras, and you're just using like Bio and maybe a couple tanks, well, you're going to lose. And then you might call the game imbalanced when it's actually not.
Ragnarok. You know, he seems to have that good sense in the late game. You know, he seems to really understand when to engage, when not to engage. We've seen so many players, especially when they get Ultras, just attack in and die. And what he needs to do right now is just keep chipping away at this Terran block until eventually he can carve that into a win. We got the nice job here taking the gold base at the top.
Like
that's pretty smart.
That's like a sneaky one, too. That's the last one that you check. It's actually very annoying and hard to check. He's even going to ferry over SCVs. Love it.
Glad we're seeing this base taken and used a little bit more.
Yeah. It's just such a cool base to take. Even if like Ragnarok finds us and kills everything off there, you know, Tasia's still okay.
By the way, he should be doing nothing but landing mules there. Every time he lands a mule, he should land it at the gold base.
Yeah, I would generally agree. Any base that's like likely to die, that's going to be a good job. You know, obviously the SCVs gain more from gold minerals, but I think that's less important than just sucking up the resources before you lose the base.
Exactly. Make it so that it's not something they have access to at either. Okay. Good harass there. Looks like it was cleaned up. Tasia coming in now from behind, doing a good amount of damage.
That's going to be quite annoying. It's going to take him a lot longer now to clear out that gold base. And he's really gaining a huge amount of income from there as well.
Okay, chasing this up onto the high ground. Nicely done there by Ragnarok. However, Taja's not done yet. He's going to continue to hit with these Liberators. Right now, Ragnarok firing his 3 corrosive bile projectiles over there. Good dodge. But does he set up again?
Pro dodge right there.
Oh,
in fact,
boy.
No dodge
Just
that
not
time.
fast enough.
Taja's still holding on, though. He's reclaimed that 5th base area. He's still got the gold base mining as well, which is pretty crazy. I think he left his medevac at the gold. I wonder if that's like to make SCVs like run away, get saved, something like that, or if he's just forgetting it.
Not sure.